on, girl, let's scream.
I am a god.
No, please don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. This is the part where you run.
Come on, scream.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Scream, a podcast where we dive into our favorite horror movies. But it's Stephenie Meyer March. I'm Parker.
I'm Stevie.
And today we are looking at the Twilight Saga, Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2, directed by Bill Condon.
Join us as we journey one last time to Forks, Washington, and learn all about
Renesmee. Are you ready to scream, girl?
Come on, girl.
Let's scream. Okay, so this week, unfortunately, Keaton is not able to be here to round out Stephenie Meyer March.
But I watched these movies with them, and I can tell you all that they have not much to say about these ones, other than they don't like them.
Well, fair.
And there was just a scheduling issue, so Keaton, unfortunately, is not here today.
But we are joined by a very special guest, our friend Vivian.
Hello.
Our little Vivi. We have talked about you so much on this podcast.
It's me, little Vivi. I'm so happy to be here to talk about these movies with you because they were bad. They were bad, and I am pumped to...
So what's your experience with Twilight?
Oh, like my initial kind of introduction?
Yes, because we talked about that on our Twilight, the original film, all of our experiences. So what's your experience with Twilight?
So, I first read Twilight when I was in middle school. I think this is when the first one came out. And I was absolutely obsessed with them. I think it's the first romance series I've ever read. And I remember... I never felt yearning before. I hadn't, I think, imagined that I, wanted a boyfriend. I was still kind of but then I was like, could I fall in love? And I think these were the books that made me realize that. Me and my sister would, go to the midnight release parties. I think there was a time that maybe we, skipped our mom's birthday to, read it or something. We were...
No, Mom, we can't come. Sorry.
No, it was bad. But I was, super obsessed with them. I loved them all, and... they were such an integral part of, me, learning just about myself, a very keystone moment in my life. So I love these books. And then watching the movies, I think, made me one of those people who hates live-action remakes of anything. I was some things deserve to stay in the media that they are. And while the first movie was good, I think every movie after that was such a bad representation of the books that
I think it's truly director. Yeah. The first director was the best director.
Yeah.
She got the film.
She was the only woman.
Oh.
Hey.
Tracks.
I think that says a lot.
Because this one, it's weird because every film got, more budget, I think. Uh-huh. But this one looks like it has the worst budget.
Yeah.
Especially part 2. It's this movie, there's no reason for it to have been 2 parts. There's no reason. It could have been cut together and been such a, I think, more interesting and tighter story.
Yes.
Because what's there is okay, I see what's going on. This is it's a good finale. I think it's a great way to end the story. But it just drags on for no reason.
There's just so much filler where it's okay, wrap it up.
And there's just a lot of sitting there in silence at points where it's something happened.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think that each movie gets progressively worse.
Oh, and these are
the
just...
series. Mm-hmm. However, I will say, Breaking Dawn Part 1, which obviously we're going to start with.
It is so... It's kind of chill.
Love Breaking Dawn Part 1.
It's good.
I think it's my second favorite film in the franchise. Twilight is up here for me, and then Breaking Dawn Part 1... and then the rest, I don't give a fuck. They're all shit. But yeah, I think part 2
is probably the worst.
Yes, part 2 is
for sure
horrible. We'll get there. But I think as far as just part 1 goes for right now, I think that it leans into horror in such a fun way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they had this crazy graphic birth scene,
yeah,
which is truly horror territory.
Yeah.
And we'll get there when we get to the plot. But like, I live for this shit. Like, this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. That's really powerful. When I saw this, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think Breaking Dawn Part 1 is definitely one of the better movies. It's just chaotic.
It really, because it is like pretty like normal and chill, but then the last 30 minutes, it is shit hits the fan.
Yes.
It's like, what is going on?
Yes.
So much happens.
So much happens.
It doesn't give you a very clear picture of the timeline. The book does a better job of it, but they're like, it's been 3 weeks and 2 months is the next scene. And then you're like, okay, it's been 45 days. It's been into the winter. And I'm like, what? How long has this movie happened
feels like
for?
no, I know in the movie when you're watching it, it's like, did this all happen in like 2 days? One weekend?
It's so crazy. It's like,
Yeah. But it's still not a perfect movie. I think we all agree that first Twilight is the best one. Like you said.
I do think they finally got the makeup and the contacts. Not as good as the first, contacts wise, but makeup wise, no one looks, especially Carlisle.
Yeah.
Carlisle, I'm like, finally looks normal.
A lot of the styling, I think, in Breaking Down Part 1 and 2 is the best it's looked. Like a lot of the hairstyles.
Yes.
And we'll get into it as
Rosalie
we go.
looks the best she's ever looked. Esme.
I was gonna say, is the forehead thing because of a wig? Or is that?
We will talk.
I don't know that much
It's
about wigs.
especially in Breaking Down Part 2, I have a whole section devoted to Miss Esme. Because
Oh, it's diabolical.
but yeah, I think I don't have much to say that's not spoiler territory for this one, so I'm ready to get into the plot, and we have a lot of ground to cover.
Oh,
yeah.
So
A lot happens.
A lot
Like,
happens.
nothing also happens.
So let's get into it. Are y'all ready to scream?
Let's scream.
Let's scream. Okay, so Breaking Dawn Part 1 begins. We see the dawn break. Play Break the Dawn by Michelle Williams. You broke the dawn.
You broke the motherfucking dawn.
That's on Drag Race season 1. Like, I think it was like the first lip sync. Akasha lip syncs to Break the Dawn.
By Michelle Williams.
And RuPaul keeps going, you broke the dawn. You broke
the motherfucking
the motherfucking dawn. So that's what this reminded me of. Bella is doing her poetry again. What else is new? She's always doing fucking poetry. They are sending out invitations for their wedding. Jacob gets the wedding invite and starts pouting. He wolfs out.
His dad's like, Jacob, calm down. And right away, this is the worst the wolves have ever looked.
Oh, the CGI and the wolves.
It's awful. And then, we'll get into a part with the wolves. And I was like, this is stupid.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Well, okay, so I will say, this whole movie is corny as fuck. Like, and especially part 2, like, it's really corny. But, like, there was some kind of fun edge to the first Twilight movie. Like, it was kind of corny still, always.
Yeah.
But it was still kind of cool and, like, fun.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, this...
my rewatch of it, it is the best of the series.
100%.
Is it perfect? No, but it's much more of a, like, just on its own, just a good story.
Yeah.
If you could leave it at that one, then I think it'd be fine.
Yeah. Bella, okay, she's getting married. And she's trying on her heels. Alice shows up. Alice's hair looks cunty again. Thank God. This is, I think, the best her hair's looked the whole series.
Alice.
Yeah.
I still like her in the first movie most.
This is fun, though. It's like a little, like...
It's like a Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Oh my god. Okay, so in my rewatch of Degrassi, we're on an era where I forgot about this song. But they've been playing it in a lot of Degrassi's episodes where it's like, I want a punk rock chick with hair just like Rihanna, want a go-go girl who dance like Lady Gaga. And I was like, what is this? But it's amazing. But yeah, she kind of has that punk rock chick hair like Rihanna.
I think it's great. I think it's the best she looks the whole series, personally.
Okay.
I think that it's so, like, sleek. And I'm like, thank God, because Eclipse and New Moon Alice, her head looked like a mushroom.
Coconut head.
She had a coconut head hair.
Not a coconut head.
She really did. So I'm like, oh, thank God. I can like bear to look at Alice once more on my screen. This whole intro, like we said, it's corny. They're getting ready for the wedding.
And I will say, the wedding venue, how they design it, gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
When we see her wedding dress, ugly.
What?
You don't like it?
I hate this wedding dress. I do not like this wedding dress.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Are you
I
just
kinda
saying?
liked
Are you
it.
just saying that to like be different and like?
No, I like truly do not like it.
No, it's so like.
Also, this might be in part 2, but there's a point where she is wearing her wedding ring on her right hand.
Ah,
And I was like,
Oh, I do think her wedding ring is fucking ugly.
Yeah.
ugly.
I think it's really ugly.
That
Like,
ring is
tacky.
disgusting. Or the engagement ring, sorry.
But then she wears it the whole time, and you're not actually supposed to just keep wearing your engagement ring. Like you take it off.
That's like her one
Especially
ring.
when it's giant and ugly like
When it's
that.
Well,
like
that one, yeah.
literally
No, but my mom's
gaudy.
always worn her engagement ring.
Really?
My parents
Oh.
wear their engagement. You know, my mom wears her engagement ring
Oh.
every day.
Maybe I don't wear mine because I'm scared. So I didn't
Right.
even. Yeah, I'm scared to lose it. I
Oh,
didn't
do you
even wear the other
You
one.
don't even wear your wedding ring.
No, He's in Vegas this weekend, so.
What happened to Vegas?
I'm just kidding. I don't know where it is. I put it in one of my mini ring dishes. I'm gonna find it. It'll be fine. But
Right. Yeah, Viv, you got married this year.
I did, and I felt that made me uniquely qualified to like speak on this portion of the movie.
Right?
Why are so many people giving speeches? That was
I
my
thought
first
that
It was
thing.
an open. Keaton said to me last night, they're like, if we get married, we're not doing an open
No.
mic for speeches. And I'm like,
Right.
first of all, no. Keaton said you would be the only one allowed to give a speech.
Really?
Yeah, and then maybe Hannah, I think.
Oh my God, I feel so honored.
And we'd be like, that's it.
I gave a speech at your wedding, Viv.
But we'd
You
expect
did.
yours to be like the heart and soul of this movie's Anna Kendrick's speech.
I would definitely. We'll get to Anna Kendrick. I love her. So that night, Edward tells Bella about how he used to kill assaulters back in the 1930s, and we get this whole scene of they're at a movie theater and it's playing Bride of Frankenstein, which great movie. Go listen to our
Yes.
episode on Bride of Frankenstein because
Yes.
it holds up. It's very camp.
It's fun.
And I liked this part. This was kind of fun
Yeah.
to like see Edward back in the 30s
Yeah.
wearing like a
Him being
30s outfit.
This kind of made me like, if Stephenie Meyer were to continue it, there could be like, it could be very much set in the future, but maybe Bella gets the urge of like, I want to kill some people. I want to taste
That
blood.
would be good.
That would
You
be
know what I
cool.
mean?
And
Yeah.
Bella would kill people, I think. That just seems like.
Yeah, I feel like she
Yeah.
get to a point where like, bitch, smash in your face.
Right? Well, I mean, like, I can imagine you get so bored. Like, Jesus Christ.
Let me go save some people.
Yeah, sure. Like,
Yeah.
anything. Bella doesn't care. She still wants to be a vamp. Duh, we knew. Like,
Girl, what if like last minute she's like, nah.
actually, I changed my mind about everything. The whole 3 movies, just kidding. Then we also get more weird, like, morality talk, which is always... Wrap it up. We've been talking about this the first, like, 3 movies, too. There's always, like, conversations that Bella and Edward have about, like, philosophical quandaries of human morality and, like, what's good and what's evil. She was in her Mormon bag
Yeah.
during these moments.
I believe it. I
Uh-huh.
believe it.
Then Emmett and Jasper show up. They've got new haircuts. Jasper's kind of got like emo bangs. I was into it. I'm not gonna lie.
Jasper was my favorite vampire, which
And
wasn't
then
he
he
a
enters-
Confederate?
He's a
song?
Yes, he casually drops it too.
Oh my God, oh my God.
I don't know the last time you saw Eclipse, but like, it's insane how he just casually drops it. He's like, yeah, the Confederate Army never really trained me for this. It's like,
Whoa.
He was a
what?
Confederate.
Yeah.
He could have been on the other side. Like, you know, he
have to-
didn't
she
need to.
could have just
do that.
not have made him a soldier.
At all.
Yeah.
Mention that.
She wanted to do that.
She chose that.
There are a lot of white people in these movies.
That's what I think
There
I
are a
mentioned
lot
that.
of
Yeah.
white people in
Is
these
it true that she did not want? Did you ever look that up? If
I never looked that up.
there was like a rumor, at least, that she did not want Laurent to play.
movies. To be a black person.
But it works so well, I think. And then there's black vampires in this.
Yeah.
Why are you against?
I think
I think it's the Mormon.
there's.
The Mormon jumped out.
I think the Mormon might have jumped out.
And then jumped back in.
So the next day, it's wedding time. Corny. Again, more corny.
Charlie is in a scene though, and he notices the graduation cap mural.
Oh, and
that they
he's
have.
like, what is this? I love
And like the
that.
mom's like, oh, that's so creative.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
And he's like, or weird.
Yeah, that was funny. He also comes in, and he's in his suit, and he goes, I know, I look hot. I creamed my jeans. I love Charlie. I think he's the hottest, character in this whole thing.
I
Charlie's
have
amazing.
I have one I think is hotter, but I'll wait until we get to that part before I raise
Also-
a debate.
I'm intrigued.
We'll get a mention, but like, Edward's hair is never doing the hair thing anymore.
I know.
It's never like coiffed.
Oh, well, that's what I talked about last week.
But
I
like, it was
I miss
super
his hair.
noticeable in this film. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
Rob needs volume.
It looks, it
Mhm.
was disappointing.
I agree. While getting ready for the ceremony, we see Anna Kendrick and the friend group,
Yeah.
who continue to be the best
That's part of these films.
Anna Kendrick she says something like, do you think Bella's going to be showing? Who else gets married at 18? It's like, real. She's asking what we're all thinking.
I wrote in my notes, like, she had a point. Like, why are
Yeah.
they getting married right now? Like, I get it because, like, he's a vampire or whatever. Like,
And she's acting like she's gonna like change so much. It's like, I'm sorry, no, 18. I'd be like, I'm gonna age up to like 20, like 4, 25. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
I feel like I look back at how I looked at 18. Oh, I don't want to look like that forever.
See, you and I are different because I was skinny when I was 18.
I don't think that's your weights of that. I feel like vampire diet would be very skinny.
It would just snatch me up.
Yeah, I feel like that's just like a natural thing.
I guess you're right. I do have better facial hair now. Things to think about.
And
So Bella gets married. I love this dress. I don't know what crack you're smoking.
what didn't you like about it?
Yeah, tell me what you didn't like about the dress.
the shoulders, I didn't like the cut of the
The neckline? Or?
The neckline. I did not like the neckline. And I did not like the just random lace panel in the back. I think it should have just been open if you're going to do that. And I did not like... Why did I not think of the seams? I didn't like the front seams.
Okay.
I
just didn't like it.
That's fair.
I can stylistically understand where you're coming from.
And it was just like a simple silk dress at the end. And I was like...
Here's the thing,
Okay.
though. What you don't... Because I know I've been to so many weddings. I know you haven't been to as many weddings as I have. Because we've talked about how there was a period in my life where literally all my cousins got married.
Yeah.
For 2 years. It was 10 weddings we had to go to.
I just have... My family's not that big.
And it was around the time that Breaking Dawn Part 1 came out. And this wedding dress was incredibly influential to fashion, the wedding dress fashion at that time. I swear, every bitch in the entire world saw Bella's dress and said, oh, I'm going to have a back like that on my dress. And let me tell you what, I think it's cunty to have the backlist and a long sleeve mermaid. It was kind of new technology. I remember people being talking about the backlist part of her dress with the lace shit on the back and being like, oh, that's it, bitch.
It's not for me. It's not my...
That's fair. But I'm just saying.
I loved your wedding dress, Ben.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you look
you.
great.
It's just because when I've seen other wedding dresses in person, the ones I've seen, like Vivian's, this one just doesn't compare.
Wow, thank you.
I mean, I agree, but I'm talking about 5-10 years ago or whenever this was. 10 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
This was it had a chokehold.
But I just never liked this simple kind of wedding dress. Because I would watch, Say Yes to the Dress, and whenever they would go for, this kind of, silk, just, solid looking dress, I'm like, I don't like it. I think it's boring. I think it's...
Well, Bella
I
didn't want a very nice. She wanted to be not like other girls. So
I know, and that's my problem with
There you go.
Bella sometimes.
There you go.
That's it.
That's
it,
Bella's
babe.
problem. She's like, I'm not like other girls.
She's
It's like,
different.
oh my
She's
God.
different
built
than other
different.
girls. She wore Did she wear Converse again? I
She
think?
wanted to.
She wanted
She was
to.
fighting for it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Speaking of Say Yes to the Dress, I like how every episode of that show you can wrap it up as the daughter wanted to wear a mermaid dress to be kind of sexy, but then there's always the mom that's like, no, I want my daughter to wear a ball gown.
Yeah.
And that's literally the summary of every single episode.
Well, I'm the one paying for it, so I say what you get.
Ball gown, diva. You're not getting a mermaid this time. So we also see, and y'all, I'm telling you, iconic. It's Stephenie Meyer March. Let's not forget. Who is in attendance at the wedding but Miss Stephenie herself, giving another cameo, iconic.
Yeah.
And she had the real earnest like smile, like, oh, I created you. Like, it was weird.
This is mine.
This is
I'm behind all this.
Yeah, it's like God. Like if God were there in person.
Maybe that's what she's thinking. You know, she's like,
I am God.
yeah.
I did all this. You're
The
welcome.
creator. Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna make so much fucking money.
Yeah. She has like dollar signs in her eyes. Bella is nervous until she sees Edward. Is this how you felt when you saw John at the wedding?
You know, it was like a little bit. Like I was like kind of freaking out. But then we like get down the aisle and John's there. And like then I felt a lot better. And then my dad did something stupid. I can't remember what. He might have tripped or something. But it made me laugh. And we were like, oh, this is funny. Never mind. It's not like pretend. But yeah, it is nice to see.
It's not pretend.
Yeah, it was nice to like see him.
But you weren't like, and then,
No, I cried the whole time. Like I wasn't gonna stop. You know, it wasn't like, oh, I see John. I just like cried more. But it's fun.
real. While they're exchanging their vows, it plays that song they danced to at prom, Flightless Bird.
I love that one.
Such a gorgeous song. And I think one of my favorite parts about Breaking Dawn's part 1 and 2 is that they went with the original composer from the first movie. And he actually did like a lot of odes to the soundtracks from the first couple movies in this. And I think the music is great in these movies. Like,
I think that like across the board, the music, like Twilight playlists, exceptional. Great
exceptional.
music.
Yes, so true. So that was fun. But then Bella and Edward literally make out. Like they played tonsil hockey for 10 minutes during their ceremony kiss. Like, get a room.
Truly. Very
Everyone's
18
like,
of them.
very
It's supposed to be like a.
Yeah.
Casual.
They're like,
And like, don't make out. Ew.
I know, they literally were like,
It's like, your family is here. Like, have some fucking respect.
have some decorum. Like, Jesus.
Truly.
I thought this was a classy wedding.
I thought this was I thought this was a classy wedding. During the reception, Edward introduces Bella to a group of vamps who are in attendance, and we learn that they are the friends of the Colons who live in Alaska. One particularly bug-eyed bitch named Arena. Did you guys think her contacts were crazy?
I will say the worst ones are like all the non-colons. The non-colons, they're like, you're getting the ones from the old films.
We had some cat eye ones in the back you can
You're
wear.
getting the leftovers.
She looked crazy, and she gets pissed, and she leaves when she sees that one of the wolves, Seth, the young wolf, is in attendance because...
Isn't it also suggested she dated Laurent?
Yeah, so I was just about to say.
Sorry.
They killed her fuck buddy, Laurent, in New Moon.
And she was claiming like, oh, he wanted to be like us. Like, bitch, no he didn't. He's trying to eat
He
Bella.
was eating people.
He's
Yeah.
straight up, like a killer. And he had those red ass eyes. You don't get... In Twilight World, you only get the red eyes if you eat people.
Yeah.
So... But anyway, it's time for the speeches. And like you said, Viv, there's too many speeches going on. Like, what? This was crazy. But this was really funny because you got Emmett making like a sex joke.
I like Emmett.
Oh, you're not going to be sleeping much. Because she's going to be turning into a
Oh,
vampire.
I thought,
Sleep.
it was like
But
a
it's
sex
like,
joke
but it comes
and
off
a
as like
vampire joke.
because they show Charlie and it like comes off as like a sex joke. Like
Yeah.
you're gonna be having sex all the time.
This was really funny.
Is it a double entendre? Is that what it is?
Yes. It was like
Yeah.
layered. That joke was layered.
Anna Kendrick.
This is my favorite part of the whole fucking, like, 2 movies. Is her being like, so... Edward didn't like anybody, but then here comes Bella. He's all about her, even though she stopped the captain of the volleyball team.
Or president of student
Council.
council. She's so good.
She's so good, yeah. And then she's not... This is the thing, this is the last time we see the high school friend group. They're not in part 2.
No.
And that's another reason why part 2 is the worst one. Because, I'm sorry, they could have just brought them back for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, come on
But she'd be
now.
like, hey guys, I'm a vampire.
But Erica would be like, Bella, you look different.
You look paler
She'd be like,
than
do you guys
usual."
think that Bella got work done? She would, like, say shit like
What the
that.
fuck is going on with her?
Yeah, like, I just need Anna Kendrick to, like, bring it back to reality. Like, keep us all, like, real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was sad. This is the last Anna Kendrick moment we get. Charlie makes a speech about how he wants to shoot Edward with a gun. Bella's mom starts singing her a lullaby.
Yep.
This whole part is great.
I would never allow any of this. My parents aren't allowed to talk. Keaton's parents aren't allowed to talk.
But I am.
But you are.
Oh my god. God. That's so honored. What if I'm just like, I hate gay people?
Turn out the mic. It just makes the like screeching noise.
Yeah. So during the reception, like dancing part, Alice and Jasper are doing swing dance moves like they're in the fucking movie Grease. This was cool. This also reminds me of this one time I like went out with you and John.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I don't know, what were we? Is that the one we went to like a cover band or something?
Maybe.
And
Was John Henry there?
John, yes,
Okay,
it was that night. And John was like swinging you around like y'all were in fucking Grease.
I don't remember it like that, but like maybe we looked. I'm glad to hear that we looked really good.
No, you did. You literally looked like Jasper and Alice in this scene. Like you guys were doing flips and
Stop,
shit.
I'm
I swear to
blushing.
God,
Thank
like
you.
lifts. I was so impressed. But then Jacob shows up to be annoying.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm Team Jacob. I love Jacob.
Okay, hot take.
Wait, are you Team Jacob or did you want to fuck Jacob? Because
That's what it really was. I bet.
I thought, okay, well, fair enough. But, but I just think that, I don't think Jacob had a more reasonable position or anything like that. I just thought that their interactions were more, like, everything is so dramatic when Bella and Edward talk, which I think it's, once again, maybe the Mormon is jumping out and she's just using this as a time to kind of, you know, talk about morality or whatever. But
Yeah.
I always thought that her interactions with Jacob seemed much sunnier or like happier in general or a little more relaxed. And
Yeah, definitely more casual.
yeah,
right?
and so I guess in a relationship that's what I preferred. So I was like, why would you choose the one who makes you all broody? Plus, he was cold. He wouldn't like if he touched you, it was cold. I hated that.
Oh yeah,
so.
I think he's too bratty. And then what he did in New Moon, where like he was suggesting to Edward that Bella was dead.
that was fucked up.
Yeah,
fucked
that
up.
I mean, yeah.
And that's why like I don't fuck with Jacob.
I think ever since he forced himself onto Bella and like made out with her without her consent,
I forgot that part. I'm just sorry.
he's kind of a perv. That's the thing. Like, yeah, you probably didn't go back and watch like a clip.
I did not, and I frankly don't remember like what
No,
happened
that's
in those
totally
parts.
fair. I will
It's
say
the least consequential.
it is the
film.
least consequential. We talked about that last week. But yeah, there's Jacob just is really like whiny, and also he's like selfish in the way he loves Bella. Like he doesn't want Bella to be happy. He wants Bella to be with him.
Yeah.
No matter the circumstances. Whereas like Edward admitted in Eclipse, he was like, yeah, like would it suck if Bella chose Jacob? But would that make her happy? Yeah. So like I would be okay with it. And I think that shows obviously more maturity. I mean, he's like 100 years older than Jacob. But that seems to me that would be like the less toxic
Fair enough.
relationship
Yeah.
pairing. I will say though, Jacob's like a million times hotter. And I love Robert Pattinson. He's
Yeah.
like my favorite actor, but Jacob was the first thing I masturbated to. So if that tells you anything. But yeah, he like shows up to her wedding and like at first it's cute and she's like all excited, but then when he learns the tea that Bella and Edward are gonna fuck that night, he gets shitty and like freaks out and like leaves in a rage.
I think this is the part where it starts for like the next 20 minutes. The whole movie is about like Bella's virginity, I think. Like the whole next 20 minutes or so.
Weird.
It is weird. It is incredibly weird. But that was the moment where I was like, wait, this happened in this movie? Like I didn't realize that this was such a huge like portion of like the driving narrative. Like that was weird to me.
Yeah, that she was gonna be like deflowered.
Yeah.
And Jacob makes like a really big deal about it. He's
He
like
does.
he thinks that Edward's gonna like kill her. But like that's never been like a thing that like we've known about vampire lore in Twilight.
Yeah, they don't often talk about like vampires as like a seductive thing. They say they're very beautiful,
Right.
but like they never talk about the vampires using that as anything other than a way to like get food.
Right.
We haven't heard that.
And it's like different from like Anne Rice vampires or like Dracula vampires because that was always horny.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Vampires were always like trying to fuck.
Maybe it's because we met like the vampires that don't eat meat. Maybe these are like this. Maybe these are like the stiff vampires that nobody wants
Well,
to hang out
Edward
with.
is straight up like in Eclipse. He's like, I'm a part of the abstinence club, Bella. Like, he's like, we're not getting married until you put a ring on it.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I
Oh,
swear.
man.
So Bella then says farewell to her parents and Anna Kendrick and all them, Susie Crabgrass and everybody. And everyone sends them off to their honeymoon in Rio. And they, like, make out in the middle of, like, a street party that's going on. And then they take a boat out to Isle Esme, which I guess is this private island the Cullens own, because they're loaded.
Yep.
And it's just a beautiful vacation home. I was like, oh my God, the glass door that, like, kind of, like, folds open like that. That was
Very
cunty.
nice. Yeah, very nice.
Edward goes out to the beach and, like, strips down. And so it's like, oh, it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And Bella, like, preps herself. This was fun.
Yeah.
I thought that they didn't show it, but if it was real life, she totally douched, too, in this moment. And she goes out with him, and they do it, like, in the water. And then later, they're, like, doing it on the bed, and he, like, breaks the headboard.
He smashes the fuck out of that bed.
It's funny.
He really does.
And then the song is called What I Was Living For. Beautiful song. Again, great music in these movies.
Yes.
The next day, the room is, like, this feathery mess. And Bella has bruises. And so Edward, like, freaks out seeing the bruises. But Bella's like, baby, that's how I like it. Like, no, you don't understand. Like, I want the rough sex, okay? But he's all like, oh, I don't want to hurt you. So, like, we get this whole montage of him, like, distracting her from sex by, like, doing excursions on the island.
And playing chess. I was like, I would kill somebody if, like, I was
It's
trying...
the book cover.
Yeah, it's the book cover.
Yeah, I
Breaking
guess
Dawn.
it is.
Yeah.
But still, like, chess? No.
This is kind of cute, though, because it reminded me of the first movie where he, like, holds the apple up, just like
Yeah.
how, you know, it was in the book cover. So that was kind of fun, but I agree, like, it's our honeymoon, and you want to play chess? I haven't played chess since I was, like, 12, and...
You can play chess?
Not since I was 12. I, like, forgot at this point, but...
I've never known. That's just so smart of you.
It's not that difficult.
It's just, like...
You guys
have
are
to-
so smart. I am not...
It's just memorizing, like, what pieces do what.
Yeah. And then the goal is to get the king.
But
I can't remember anymore.
I've tried to learn chess, like, 10 times. And it's hard.
Okay, but then Bella has a sex dream about her and Edward, and she wakes up crying because she realizes that it wasn't real. And basically, she's begging for the dick. She's like, please, please give me the dick. I need it. Oh, I need it so bad. And so he finally, like, caves in and gives her the dick. But then we get a scene with the wolves. Boring. Who cares? Boring. They're talking about imprinting.
Oh, I remember. This was the part that made me remember how creepy imprinting was.
Yes.
Yeah, because...
Oh, it gets even creepier, in my opinion.
Because we see, this is the first time we realize that you can imprint on a child.
Yeah, because it has, like, one of the wolves playing with, like, a little toddler in the beach. And I'm like, whoa.
Stephenie
And they're like, it's not what you
Meyer.
think. It's not what you think. And I'm like, what is it
Then
then?
what is it?
What is it then?
What is it?
Like,
They try to play it off as like, oh, you're just like their watchful protector.
but you know what? Stephenie Meyer has some creepy... She had some other creepy things. She, like, talks about Bella as, like, her daughter, but she always is like, Edward is so hot. He's, like, this hot, sexy vampire guy. And I'm like, why do you think of one of them as, like, a kid, like your daughter, and then another one? And I think that plays over into kind of the imprinting thing.
She's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, she wrote this. So,
Okay, yeah, that's totally
yeah. Then we get a scene of the housekeepers coming by to the honeymoon house.
I'm like, what the fuck?
This was really funny, yeah.
Seeing the
bed.
mess.
And the one lady, she's like a native of the island, and she's suspicious that Edward could be a vamp because in like their traditions and their stories that they tell, there's one legend about vampires.
Because of course.
Yeah, because of course there is. Edward goes out hunting, and Bella is like left alone for a bit, and so she cooks some chicken, and then she pukes because she thinks maybe she undercooked the chicken or something. I know, but then the real gagger comes in when she realizes that she is actually
Late.
pregnant. Yeah, because she has missed her period.
It is crazy to me that she like planned her honeymoon and wedding in such a way that she would be on her period anytime within the next 3 weeks. That was like that was a factor in like wedding date. Like I was checking when they would give us like these are the dates available. I was like, let me get on my app because I don't want that to be anything that I'm worried about.
And you weren't even getting married to a vampire who drinks.
No, I wasn't. I was getting married
You married an Italian.
An Italian, and there were Italians in these movies, and we'll get to them a little later.
Yes, the
Yeah,
Volturi.
the Volturi, Magnifico.
I know when
Soy Italiano.
there was like somebody, like some enemy of the Volturi later was like Italian scum, and that.
Oh yeah, I love those guys.
Me when I see John. Just kidding. Just kidding.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Bella even has a small bump, like already.
That's crazy. I think that was the chicken. She also cooked a lot of chicken
She got it
for
turned in the
herself.
She got it turned in the chamber.
Yeah.
She totally did. It was a food baby. Alice and Carlisle call up in that moment. They're like panicked because Alice obviously has seen a vision of this.
Mm-hmm.
And Edward's in complete shock. He's like, had empty no thoughts, like processing. And they decide to leave immediately to get back to Carlisle. But not before that native lady shows up again. And she's like freaked the fuck out. And she sees Bella like caressing her little bump. And Edward is like talking to this woman in Portuguese. And he's like, you know, what do you think is going to happen? Like, according to your legends or whatever. And the woman gets up and she goes, morcha, which is like death in Portuguese, I guess. But I love the delivery. Like, this woman, she like literally had 0.5 seconds and one line. And she said, baby, let me go for the EGOT on this one. I love
She really like delivered. I
Was
think.
she the second best? Her and Anna Kendrick, their backs must be aching from holding this film.
carrying the film.
Carrying this film.
It's true, yeah. I was living for her. I was like, oh, she kind of gagged her with that one. That was cunty. Then Bella gets a moment to herself. And so she calls up my diva, Miss Rosalie, to help her protect the baby. Since she's now like in love with it. She's like, no, I don't want them to take away my baby.
So she goes to Rosalie?
Well, she goes to Rosalie because she knows that Rosalie always wanted to have kids. So, like, Rosalie, that was kind of part of her lore in Eclipse that we learned. So she was like, oh, Rosalie will help me, like, not abort the baby, pretty much. Because everyone else was like, oh, we got to get rid of this thing.
Go, we got to abort.
And they all like, yeah, this was
They
interesting.
all were like, we are taking a Planned Parenthood immediately.
Yeah, they were like, what? Like, no, we're gonna get rid of it. And,
Girl, we're
Yeah.
aborting.
Which, fair though.
yeah, honestly, like, so many things. Like, and as you watch the movie, you're like, there were so many reasons to just nip it in the bud.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
but Bella, again, she's not like other girls. So when she gets a demon baby, she's like, I want to keep it.
I want to keep the demon baby.
I'm different. Jacob learns that Bella is sick, quote unquote. So he goes to the Collins house to see if she has turned. But what he finds is a pregnant Bella looking
Like
rough.
a Skeletor.
Bad. She looks bad.
This was
But it's so
funny.
good. It's so funny. Every time they show her on screen, I can't help but laugh.
So, because Kristen Stewart, like, her face is so, like, blank. I mean, it's, like, normal Bella, like, blank face. But she's, like, really gaunt now. She's, like, super sunken in cheekbones. That shit is so funny, yeah.
It's so good.
We learned that ultrasounds can't see the baby. Alice can't see Bella's future anymore. She can't see the baby's future. And the baby is basically feeding off her life force, growing rapidly. And Jacob is furious with the whole thing. He wolfs out and goes into the woods where he confronts the wolf pack. This is the worst scene in the movie.
Where
This
they're talking.
is
They're all
the
yelling, like-
corniest shit.
Why are they not just human?
Yeah.
And then wolf out.
And it's like everyone's got like an echo effect on their voice. Sam was the worst. Like because he's supposed to be the leader of the pack, and so he's like, I am the leader of the pack.
They all sounded so bad.
Like, what was
It's-
going on?
Diabolical.
It was so weird. It's all these like fake CGI wolves like having an inner monologue
Just
with
staring
each other.
at each other. And it's like, just make them human.
Yeah, it kind of felt like something that would have been in like a kids movie. Like
Yes,
it was giving.
Well,
yeah.
that's my thing is the audience became much younger than I think they were expecting. Because, I mean, we were in middle school. I think they expected this to be like big with like more like high schoolers.
Or college age,
College
yeah.
age. And he just wasn't. And so I think for each film, they progressively got more adolescent, which doesn't make sense because the initial audience was growing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And so, but I still think they always kept that mentality from New Moon on.
Yes. No, 100%. And you can definitely see that here in this scene.
It's
because the dialogue is so corny.
Corny.
Yeah.
Truly.
It's so corny. And I mean, we're not in part 2 yet, but part 2 is just...
It's even worse. Yeah.
Oh.
Sam is like, we must kill Bella and the Cullens. And Jacob breaks off. Like, he's kind of like when Ginger left the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's like, we're breaking up the group. I'm going to start my own girl group.
Yeah.
You know? And
they're like, good luck without us.
right, yeah. But then Seth and Leah, who are like the brother and sister duo of the Wolves, they decide to also quit the girl group and they join
Victoria. Beckham.
This was very posh. I thought you meant, when you said Victoria, I thought you meant the redheaded bitch.
No, Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
Because have you listened to her solo album?
I love posh. Yeah.
Her album
Yes,
is really good.
it's really good.
It's so good.
Yeah. Oh, she was always my favorite Spice Girl.
Oh, yeah.
I also thought that during this like whole thing of like Seth and Leah breaking away and joining Jacob, why were they like the way that this was blocked? Like Jacob and Seth are like standing like shoulder to shoulder, and they're like leaning over their shoulder to talk to each other like they're in a play. Did you guys notice this at all?
The blocking is diabolical in this whole film.
Everyone's straining their neck, and it's like just face each other.
But it's a movie. You have multiple cameras.
Yeah, I thought this
You can
was
get
so
It's called an angle.
It's called an angle. This was so funny. Like, I was like, why are we talking over our shoulder? I don't know. But anyway, Jacob and his new girl group team up with the Cullens to defend them from Sam's pack. We watch a montage of Bella continuing to get skinnier and skinnier as the baby grows. And this whole shit is so unserious. Mm-hmm. She got bones sticking out everywhere.
Bones sticking out.
Bones sticking out. For real, though. She looked like a skeleton. I was like, Cindy, this is bones.
This is bones.
This is
she
bones,
literally
Cindy.
is that.
Mm-hmm.
But then she has this big pregnant belly.
The effects look great. Like,
yes,
the
I think it
makeup-
looks great, but it's so funny. Every time they show her, I can't help but laugh.
I know. It's so funny. So they're speculating that Bella might have to actually drink blood herself because, like, that's probably what the baby wants and that will, like, sustain it. So they put her blood in, like, a sippy cup with a straw and feed it to her, and she goes, "It's good."
I thought this was crazy because I was like, she hasn't wanted a steak or something. Like, up to this point, she
Right.
had no, like, you have a craving for, like, iron, and I'm like, you didn't want a steak before, and they couldn't have gotten to this conclusion, like, much sooner.
I feel like Bella's the type of bitch where, like, that's what she's craving, but she's, like, just too different and, like, moody to, like,
to say.
to
She's vegan.
communicate. Oh, yeah, she was vegan.
Is she?
Yeah, in the
Bella's
first movie,
vegan.
she kept ordering, like, we noticed that, Keaton noticed that, in the diner. You know, in the first movie, they're always at that diner with her dad.
Oh, yeah.
She's constantly ordering like Impossible patties.
Yeah,
or,
or like a
salads.
garden
Oh,
burger.
really?
Garden burger.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Because,
So
like,
then that's like their connection because Edward's a vegetarian vampire.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I guess maybe, but she could have, because when you're pregnant, you're right, like, you do start to
Yeah.
She
crave
ate a
for that.
chicken.
Yeah,
She broke that swing
She
so
did
fucking
eat some-
quick.
She had, it was a lot of chicken, too. It was 2 chicken thighs and a chicken wing.
But let's be real, these directors did not watch the other films.
That's so true.
Okay.
That's so true.
They wouldn't catch shit like that.
We then see the passage of time as Bella goes through a whole blood bank's pretty much worth of blood bags, which
That's a lot.
that's fucked up. Like, people need that blood.
That's why there's a shortage.
It was because of Bella's ass drinking it in her fucking sippy cup. She put it in like a Stanley cup.
Yeah.
Nowadays it would be in her Stanley cup.
She'd get a blood red one.
She blood red. She put like the glitter syrup in it to like make it all shimmery. Like, get ready with me as I make my
ready.
blood. My blood for the day. So she's calling her dad, telling him that she's going to a medical center in Switzerland, and that's why she can't, like, she's sick now, I guess. And she's like, Dad, just like visualize me looking healthy. And he goes, you want me to visualize? And I thought that was funny. I love Charlie.
No, I'm going to a med spa.
It's like a spa. Like, bitch, what are you talking about?
And by the time you get here, I'll be healthy.
I swear.
I swear.
Meanwhile, she looks like a skeleton. It's like fucking
Skeletor.
Fully
Skeletor,
dying.
bitch. Edward realizes that he can now hear the baby's thoughts. And he can tell somehow that the baby is like pure and good and not like monstrous.
And he keeps saying him.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
think that this baby's gonna be a boy.
Yeah.
So speaking of that night, Bella is talking baby names.
Mm-hmm.
She thinks that if it's a boy, which that's what they think it's gonna be, they're gonna call it EJ for Edward Jacob.
That's creepy.
Weird. But this is the real gagger. If it's a girl, they're gonna call it Renesmee.
I don't know, like,
Renesmee.
We just made that up.
What?
Just made that up!
What publisher read that and was like, yeah, go for it? You know, like...
That needed a second pass or some red marker up on that page because
If Keaton and I had a kid and we combined my mom and their mom's name, Marin, I think.
it's diabolical. And I have decided that for the rest of the review, I am not going to be calling it Renesmee. I'm going to call it anything but Renesmee. But then, y'all, this is when it takes a turn. Bella goes to reach for her sippy cup. Her back breaks.
Fully, she like...
This is such a great,
Then her knees break, bitch. It's like crunch. Like, can I crumple this
Yeah,
a little bit? It's like,
it's so...
and it's all in slow motion too, and all the colons are like, whoa. And she's like,
Jacob's there, and
she's
they're like...
breaking her fucking bones, bitch. So she is giving birth. This is when it happens, y'all. This is horror movie territory.
all of her bones breaking out of fucking nowhere.
And Edward, like, they put her on, like, the surgery table that they just have in their house. And Edward, like, has to chew through her stomach to get the baby out. This is so good. Okay, this is scary. Like,
Well, first, Rosalie's like, we're getting that baby out of there. She takes a scalpel. And she's like, she's like, I'm getting it. And then she has blood on her hands. And they're like, girl, you gotta get the fuck out of here. And she's like, yeah, I kind of forgot about blood.
yeah, she, like starts to, like,
I kind
vamp
of get
out.
it, because I'm like, I kind of actually really like that part, because it's like, oh, they're so more worried about, like, oh, Bella has to be saved. They didn't even think about blood.
The whole blood frenzy. Yeah, so, like, they're kind of... And Carlisle isn't there because he's out hunting. And he was going to be the one to have to do this. And he's, as we know, the one that's the chillest around
And
blood.
we now learn also, maybe I don't remember if you mentioned this, but the werewolves are now officially hunting the Cullens.
Yes.
And so, like, while they're out, while this is all going on, the Cullens are being hunted by the werewolves.
This was, like... they didn't need to show all this.
It's so...
much.
Like,
It's
I
too
kind of
much.
love it, because I'm like, wow, this is so chaotic.
No, I swear to God. And then the way that this is shot is very cool because it's from Bella's perspective.
Yeah.
As, like, everyone... It's so overwhelming.
So you're kind of, like, dying?
Yeah, like, you're the one dying. I loved this.
Yeah.
Like, I think this was definitely the coolest part of maybe the whole series.
Yeah.
I think I just really like this whole birth scene. I think it's so scary. It's bloody. It's not like so... Oh,
I know. I saw.
my God.
Okay, so my TV, it has, like, it'll just do random photos when it's in sleep mode, and it just came up with, it's a chessboard, and it's the king and queen together.
It's
Oh my
literally
god!
Oh my God.
It's
cover
literally
of Breaking
Breaking
Dawn,
Dawn.
bitch. They broke the dawn.
They broke the
They
motherfucking
broke the
dawn!
motherfucking dawn.
Oh, now it's tulips. I'm growing tulips outside around my Japanese maple, and they're starting to sprout.
Oh, that's
how
exciting.
I'm so excited.
That's really
So.
fun. What color?
It's a mix, so it's gonna be like red, yellow, and orange,
Cute.
Oh,
which we thought would look good with the Japanese.
Oh,
maple.
yeah, for
Ooh,
sure.
yes. So anyway,
Back to the story.
The birth scene.
The birth scene at hand.
It's scary, and then like Renesmee is like born, and Bella dies. She literally like her heart stops, and she like her eyes like glass over.
It's
like, oh,
funny.
she died.
Her like
Funny.
dead body and then like interacting with it, I think was super creepy.
The
I hated
puppet,
that.
but like fully, it turns into a doll at one point. Like you could tell it was Kristen Stewart, and then it slowly fades to the. It's like a
It's like
doll.
a body
Yeah.
double or whatever
Like a
the fuck.
doll.
Yes. Edward gets a giant syringe of his venom and like
Jams it into her chest.
fucking like
Oh, God,
plunges it
that was
into her.
gross.
But is it too late? Bella is not moving. She's like chilling there looking dead as fuck. And Edward is like frantically trying to like resuscitate her. And he keeps going, come on! Come on!
He has a little bit of an accent there. It was like, whoa, where's that from?
Right? That jumped out. My sister Brooke and I, like, I think we saw this in theaters together, and we were like fucking dying when he was going, come on! And we would like, on the way home, we were like, come on! Whenever I see her, I'll still be like, come on! But yeah, it seems Bella, it has fucking kicked the fucking bucket. She is dead, right? Laying there.
Our protagonist is dead.
Dead?
Incredible.
Gasp. Jacob runs out in tears, and the wolves all learn that Bella has died, so they prepare for battle.
They're like, we're gonna kill the baby because
With
she killed
the vamps.
She killed Bella.
Yep.
So they broke the treaty.
Meanwhile, we see inside of Bella's veins in her bloodstream. It's very Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, how the opening credits would be like the venom like
Yeah.
overtaking his bloodstream. The venom is pouring through her system, and so she is turning into a vampire. Jacob goes into the living room to kill the baby.
Yeah, he says he basically convinces the wolves like, let me do it. Like,
Rosalie is holding it, and we see the baby.
CGI.
This is the fakest looking CGI cartoon.
There's a point we see it a little later. Every time they show it, it's a different face in the baby, I swear.
No, right? They literally always looked like a completely different fucking person.
It's like, why not just get a fucking baby?
Apparently, y'all.
The doll they wanted to use. Oh,
There is an animatronic doll that they created for this, and it has been named by like the fandom Chuck Esme because it was just so creepy. Actually, I'm gonna show y'all pictures of it.
I've seen it. It's horrifying.
I don't think I've seen
And so
it.
they like
You gotta
didn't
see
use it,
Chuck
right?
Esme.
Didn't they have to do the CGI over it?
Yep.
Oh my god. I was gonna ask if like the bad CGI baby was the reason this was on your guys' horror movie podcast. Oh my god.
I see it again.
No!
I think they should have went for it.
It does kind of look like Chucky.
Yeah, very
Chuck
Chucky.
Esme.
Chuck Esme.
Oh my god.
So yeah, last minute they decided to scrap that. They didn't realize it looked bad, I guess, until last minute. So they have this fake ass CGI baby. It looks like that movie The Polar Express with like the motion capture
Yes,
animation.
Tinashe's in it.
Tinashe?
She's the girl in it.
That's Tinashe?
Yes.
The little girl who sits like this. She's like,
Yes.
my mind is blown.
That's Tinashe.
Oh my god. I've been a nasty
The
girl.
girl, nasty. I've been a nasty.
When
girl.
Santa-
her after sneaking looks at her presents. I've been a nasty girl.
When Santa asks her if she's naughty or nice.
I've been a naughty girl. Naughty.
That's funny. Okay, so Jacob goes in the living room. He sees the CGI baby. He imprints on the baby.
Just creepy. Creepy.
Ew.
Ew.
So fucking disgusting. We'll talk about that more in part 2. Okay. The wolves and the Cullens have this showdown.
And then, yeah.
But then Jacob comes out to reveal that he has imprinted on Miss Refrigerator.
So they can't attack her because
Yep.
plot convenience.
The treaty is like nullified and they have no longer a reason to attack. So all is like chill now with them. We once again see the dawn break and a montage of Bella being like cleaned up, and they put her on this like blue dress.
I will say Keaton does not remember this sequence being as long as it is.
It is kind of long.
yeah.
But I love it. I'm like, because basically you think that like, it looks like they're just going to pan over to like her face and her eyes are going to open, but like.
No, they like dress her up.
It's so good.
I don't know why they put her in this blue dress.
Yeah.
That was
a
weird.
weird dress.
Right? And she's like lying in bed there as the vampire venom like takes over her and she starts to become yassified.
Her skin starts to plump up. My favorite is her stomach.
When it pops up, I was like, whoa!
Because her bones,
Yeah,
her bones like repair
her like
themselves.
rib cage is like, yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah.
Her hair gets like highlights.
Yeah.
I guess when you like are a vampire, you get like a new hairstyle.
Yeah.
She gets like permanent eyeshadow.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
tattooed
That's
on
why
her.
you put her makeup on.
Right? No, it just like magically. That'd be kind of see. That's me one thing about being a vampire. Permanent mug.
You're always stamped.
You are always muggy
You
on.
ain't gotta get ready. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
Right? Exactly. And it was like a really pretty cut crease too. And
lashes.
301
She's got
lashes. She became a drag queen. Like she literally
the real.
yeah, it was like every time she blinked, it was like. And then we also get a clip show from all the other movies, like showing her story up until this point. There was a lot of that.
Yeah, there was a lot of that in this movie.
A lot of clip shows. And Bella's theme plays.
For the first time since the first movie. Yeah, it's great.
It's iconic. I mean, come on now. Then the movie ends with it zooming in on her eyes, and she opens them, and they're red. Bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, spooky. And the end of part 1. How do we feel?
It's definitely better than part 2.
Okay, yeah.
It's the werewolf parts suck.
This next movie is unwatchable. I was like, I first I was like, oh yeah, I can take notes. You know, like I'm a podcaster. I was like, I am gonna take my notes and I'm gonna pay attention and I'm gonna give it my all. Y'all, that lasted 20 minutes.
This movie is.
And then I was like, I can maybe do something. So I was putting together like a shelving unit. So I just went back to like doing that, and I like finished it while I was watching this movie. And
Yeah,
I was like,
There's because this movie. I texted you last night. It's a meet and greet.
Dude, that was so funny. You were like, 80% of this movie is just a meet and greet, and it really is.
Because like
lot
the
of
first like 10 minutes is pretty fun because we see Bella's a vampire, but the green screen is diabolical.
There's so much green screen.
There's a lot of green screen in this, and it's diabolical. And then the last, like, 15 minutes is great, but then you get the twist, and it's like, oh.
Right, that's the whole thing.
I remember my roommate in college, like my freshman year, watching this movie, and it was like late at night, and I was tired. It was like 3:00 in the morning, and it was like a Tuesday night or something. And she's watching this movie full volume, like, and screaming every time there's like a big part or something's different or like something crazy happens, just screaming. So going into watching this, I had like a negative like connotation with it already because that was a bad time for me that whole evening.
Yeah.
And so already I was like, I don't think I like this. And I watched it and it was worse. I know why she was I get it now. I understand.
Whereas
You read all the books, right?
I did read all the books.
This is not how the book ends.
No.
The book is very different.
Like, I want to talk about the theater reaction when we get to the scene.
Yes.
But it's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think also with this one, they realized the audience, more people were watching the movies than reading the books. So
Yeah.
they knew they could steer away from the books. Not like how Harry Potter was, or even like Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger Games changed like one thing that honestly was inconsequential, which was PETA did not lose his leg.
Oh, yeah. I want to do the Hunger Games on the pod.
They're pretty horror. We should also do, Keaton and I watched it, and we need to do the English dub of it. Battle Royale. Which
Yes.
Because
I
the English, we
love Battle
watched
Royale.
that. Keaton was like, oh, can we watch that? And we found it on Pluto, but they only had the English version. So it's like, dubbed over, and you could tell it was like made in the 90s with the slang they're using. Tubular.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
so
oh,
funny.
no.
Battle Royale is like what inspired the Hunger Games. It's like this Japanese horror movie about all these kids in like a kill each other sort of scenario.
I haven't seen that. I'll have
It's
to check it
really
out.
good.
It's really good, yeah. Yeah, we should do that one too. But yeah, this movie, Breaking Dawn Part 2, is truly boring. It truly is uneventful for the entire middle section of the movie. Therefore, and also due to the fact that we're already an hour into this podcast and it's a double feature, I am just going to kind of give the Cliff's Notes version.
Oh, yeah, bitch.
Yeah,
there's
there's
not
not another
a lot to
version
talk about.
of the movie
Because this
itself.
also, my problem with this film, it felt like, because they filmed this immediately after part 1. So the production was, I think the production shared a budget. And it shows in this, that they spent it all on the first film. Is this
yeah.
one, it's like, what is happening?
It's like modern day Marvel, how it's just like all that bad green screen.
Yeah.
It is, honestly, oh, it's so bad. It's just like, this is the worst the series has ever looked.
Hands down.
And they could have done so much without it. Like, they didn't need to do all, like, the stuff with the wolves, and they could do more practical effects with the vampire. Like, there were so many other things they could have done that didn't need the green screen, and I don't know.
I fully agree. And just, they could have just shortened this whole shit anyway.
Into one part.
Yeah.
It did not need to be 2 parts.
No, it really did not. Now, the ending of part 1 where Bella turns into a vampire and her eyes open up and it's like a scary, like, oh, like that was kind of exciting ending. But then it gets like completely nullified within the first 10 minutes of this one.
Yeah.
Because Bella isn't scary.
Yeah.
Do you guys just want to kind of get into the plot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I have nothing to say about this film except
Me
for
too.
plot. Like,
It's just bad.
it's just bad.
Yeah. We see the dawn break again. Bella broke the motherfucking dawn yet again. It's a very long opening credits. However, I did appreciate that it brought back the scores from the first several movies. It was like a suite or like a medley of all that.
Yeah.
So we got the New Moon, the Hayden Pantier like theme song.
And we got some
Yeah. Bella's theme, bitch. Iconic. Yeah. Bella is now a vamp, as we discussed. She's got her eyeshadow, okay? She can zoom in on all the details in the room and, like, see, like, the dust on, like, the pages of the book. And she can see, like, spiders and shit in the corner of the room. That was kind of fun. Me after I eat 1 carrot. Me after I get my contacts prescription updated. I'm, like, zooming in on shit. She goes to, like, embrace Edward, and she, like, crunches him. This was really funny.
because she's so strong.
Yeah, she doesn't know her own strength. Kristen Stewart is not good at playing a vampire. She is diabolical in this movie. Her performance... First of all, everyone shits on Kristen Stewart. I think she's a good actress.
Yeah.
I really do. She had a lot of character tics as Bella. She, you know, we talked about her playing with her hair a lot, her huffy puffy, her eyes rolled in the back of her head all the time.
Yeah.
But that was so endearing, and like that to me is Bella. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Vampire Bella just kind of does this thing where she's like, I'm a badass now, and I talk with like a deep voice, and that's kind of all she's got going for her. And so like, no, I don't really care about Bella anymore because she's not fun, campy, stuttering Bella that I love.
Do you guys remember? It was like a new show that came out. Amanda Seyfried was in it. It was about that like CEO lady who like talked with a really deep voice.
Yes. What was her name?
What was her name?
Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes. That is exactly how Bella sounds.
It's giving Elizabeth Holmes trying to convince me to
this.
like, pay into her startup. Yeah.
Her and Jen Shaw are BFFs in jail. And that brings me so much happiness.
Yeah, don't they put on like Barbie fashion shows
Yes.
and shit?
Yes, I remember when that came out. I said that to my group chat. And I was like, y'all, it's like summer camp for her. She's having a great time. She's having fun.
Oh yeah.
She's like, I'm so happy for Jen.
But yeah, Bella's got her Elizabeth Holmes voice. She's all like tough now. And they go out for Bella's first hunt. green screen. It's basically Kristen Stewart running in front of a green screen for like 5 minutes.
And there's like parts where she's zooming in on like she sees a fly, she sees a leaf, a flower.
She ate so many carrots.
How is she not falling? You know, like if you're looking at a fly.
So funny.
It'd be funny if she still was clumsy.
It would, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be better.
Yeah.
Whoa!
She's a clumsy vampire.
That's what they should have done it.
Yeah.
That would have been funny as fuck. CV, I know you have never seen it, but Viv and I used to watch the show called What We Do in the Shadows. And it's like a spoof of vampires. I think this should have leaned more into like What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, and those effects are great. Like when they turn into a vampire, I love that.
Yeah,
like or a bat or something.
The bat, yeah, that was really funny. Bella should have been able to turn into a bat. That would have been
way
That's
better
power.
than like.
So she begins to hunt a deer, and she's like trying to act all scary. It wasn't scary or intimidating.
Yeah.
She sniffs a human out, and then she like jumps up onto this mountain, and there's like this mountain climber guy, and he kind of cut himself.
Yeah.
So Bella smells the blood, and the scene of her being like,
It's so
Breaking
funny.
the wall away with her fingers.
And then
So
Edward
funny.
like catches up with her.
he's like, Bella.
You have to control yourself. She's like, I have to get out of here. And then she just jumps off the mountain.
Completely out throws.
And he loves it. He's like, "Aw, she's so cute." Jumping up a mountain.
Yeah, right. But then she just like eats a mountain lion. It's
She
crazy.
like kind of looks at it too
And
while she's about to kill
when-
it. She's like,
Have you noticed? Why do they never get covered in blood? Like her,
That's the
her and
thing.
Edward are walking out. She's perfectly clean, and I'm like,
Right.
bitch, you just mauled a mountain lion. to
and
death."
it's not ever like a nice clean thing when they show them doing it. It's very like messy. There's like blood moving. They're like tearing this thing apart.
But I thought this was funny when she killed the mountain lion.
So campy, yeah. Bella is actually able to control herself very well. They notice. He's like, wow, you did a really good job for your first hunt. Like, I thought you were going to totally kill that guy, but you did it. Good for you. Jacob meets new Bella outside the Collins house. And he tests to see how she's going to do around the baby. Like, oh, if you can be around me, you're not going to kill the baby, so you can meet, your baby. And this is funny because she goes, Jake, you really do stink.
You smell like shit.
Ooh!
Oh, just smell that shit.
Oh, your breath, Jacob. Ooh, you need a mint. She goes in to meet Rotisserie, her daughter, who is, like we said, the fakest CGI baby ever. She's got the Polar Express eyes and everything.
it's bad.
She could even
The hair
show-
CGI.
The hair is CGI, right? And again, she like every new take, it's like a different baby. It's like a different person.
It's a different face.
She can show you her thoughts by like just touching you. So she like kind of like touches your face, and she can like send her thoughts into your mind. So that's like her power. Jacob is very protective over ravioli, and Bella learns that Jacob has imprinted on her daughter.
You imprinted on my baby?
She gives us my favorite line in the entire
It's
Twilight.
franchise.
Can we all say it together?
You
nicknamed my daughter the Loch Ness Monster?
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
Y'all, this is crazy.
This
This is crazy.
You could have stopped it after this.
is wild.
Her line delivery is truly insane. Like, she could have read that any other way, but she chose, you nicknamed my daughter the Loch Ness Monster? She kind of sounds like Monstro Elizasu from The Substance a little bit, like with like how grumbly she is.
Honestly, yeah.
Her voice.
I just met my baby, and you think you get this weird...
Wolf claim over her? Oh! And she starts like going to like beat his ass. Edward's living for this.
He's
I
like,
thought
oh,
that was
yeah.
really funny.
And they're like, oh my god, we should step in. Edward's like, no, he said it was fine.
Yeah, like it's all good. But then Jacob like explains how everything works to her, and they kind of get over it. She's like, she kind of never really like is cool with it. I noticed like she's just kind of like whatever, she accepts it.
Yeah.
That night, the Cullens, including Miss Esme. Y'all, we gotta talk about Miss Esme. This poor actress. Okay, one time, Stevie, I think when you and I watched these together,
Yeah.
every time she would pop up on the screen, you and I would be like, oh, that poor actress.
That was my first time watching it.
That poor actress, because Oh, it's so sad. She looks beautiful in the first Twilight movie. The way they styled her.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then she's kind of gotten a little progressively worse, but it's really bad in this movie. Like, this is the forehead you were talking
like,
about,
It's so
Vivian?
big.
They
Why
kind of
did they
forgot.
make her forehead so
I don't know because it's not like how
It's like they forgot about her. Like, she showed up to set and they're like, oh, you.
Fuck, we forgot to get a wig for her. They chose to give her like a 6-head forehead. They gave her the old new moon cat eye contacts, so her eyes are especially.
That's how it was
bugged
also
out.
for the the other actors. It's like, oh, y'all get the leftovers.
She got the leftovers, baby. And
They
it
totally
shows.
forgot about her.
Literally every time she pops up, it's like, ooh,
Ooh,
that
Poor
actress.
Do you think she watched this film like at the premiere and was like, I'm gonna leave? Because I'm gonna go, what? Yeah, I'm
It's so
gonna go.
sad. She's a beautiful actress, beautiful woman.
They styled her dirty.
But they did her
Maybe she
dirty.
pissed off someone in the makeup department. They're like, oh, this bitch in the last film, oh, I'm gonna get you.
Give her that wig.
Just fish something out of the crappy box.
Yeah, here. Yeah, let me do your hairline for you, girl. Yeah. Oh no, that looks good. Trust me. Yeah. Oh no, people really love a big forehead right now. It's super trendy. Anywho, they gift Bella with a house, like a whole ass house.
I wondered, did they build that in 2 days?
They must have apparently it's like right around the corner. Like, where did it come from? It's a gorgeous little
It's
fairy tale
cute.
house. Yeah, I liked it. Her and Edward go to like see their new house. It's so cute. Like the interior decorating, so gorgeous. And there's also a bed. And they have rough vampire sex. And it's edited like a music video for some reason. It's like a lot of like shots of like, like them thrusting, but then like close-ups of like her like serving face too. Like,
Yeah.
Did you
watch
guys see
the
that
photo.
part where she like sparkled briefly? Like
No, did she?
Yeah, there's like it's like a flash and it's like weird little bad like CGI sparkles all over her face and I was like, what?
This was very strange. Like
Yeah.
the editor did like 3 lines of coke and was like, "Let's go! I have to get this one out within the next hour. Let's go."
It was not great.
Then we get the whole like Charlie storyline of like making it out so that Bella can like still see her dad. So
Yeah.
like Jacob goes to Charlie, gets his dick out in front
This
of
was
Charlie.
my favorite part
Keaton
of the movie.
told
I thought
me-
this was super funny.
When Keaton
I
and
cringed
I
my
were
jeans.
watching this, Keaton said they jorked it to this.
And hey, you know what? Real. Because I did too, Keaton. Keaton, if you're listening, you're a real one. Yeah, this was incredibly homoerotic and very hot. But also, what the fuck? He literally like strips down for no reason. Then he wolfs out in front of Charlie. So it's kind of like to explain to Charlie that like fantasy creatures exist.
Yeah.
But he doesn't tell Charlie like the whole story, but like basically he's like, Bella, she's different now. She's like magical or whatever.
But she doesn't turn into a wolf.
Yeah. So like just don't question it and you can still see Bella. And you know what? I love Charlie. So I did enjoy the
Yeah.
moment of him being relieved that he can still see Bella and that she's okay, but also being like weirded out by everything and like why does she look different? But I think they did a good job like sending his character off.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bella and Emmett arm wrestle.
I saw that and then she starts like breaking the rocks and all the other Cullens are standing around just like ha ha and clapping. Like I know she's like a newborn or whatever, but like it made me think like what else do they do for fun? Do they just like
Just break rocks.
They just
yeah.
break rocks and clap and laugh at each other?
Yay!
Like,
And have like piano concerts in their home. That was weird later when like Refrigerator and Edward are like playing the fucking piano and they're all just standing around like, that was so good. How boring. Jesus.
Can I go do something?
Right? Can you imagine just like centuries of that? Jesus.
oh my god.
Take up a hobby.
And I noted from this point on, let's wrap this shit up.
Yes.
Because that's so real. Okay, so some time has passed. Ravioli, she's, you know...
Growing really rapidly.
Aging rapidly. So she's like... she kind of looks like she's maybe like 5 or 6 now, years old.
Yeah.
She jumps up to catch a snowflake. She does like a really high vampire jump. And in the distance, Miss Bug-Eyed Arena shows up, that we met in part 1. She sees Refrigerator like going up there to get the snowflake. And so she thinks that the Cullens have like turned a human child into a vampire, which is this whole, like, taboo thing.
And I love this sequence where we learn about the, like, pale ones.
I thought that was cool.
Oh my
Because
god.
Alice has a vision
She
that the
does.
Volturi are going to come and, like, fight them.
Uh-huh.
And so then that's why, and it's because of this whole confusion of they think it's a pale one, which is children that were turned into vampires who basically would just go insane and destroy entire villages.
Okay.
This whole sequence.
Flashback. So we get a flashback to when the Volturi discovered, like, it's an immortal child, is what they call it.
Yeah.
An immortal child that had just, like, massacred an entire village. So it's like this little boy vampire. And Dakota Fanning is holding the baby and she just throws it into the fucking fire. And it's so funny. Why is this so funny for her? It's like a ragdoll too. She's like,
This is a meme. This is a great meme.
I've seen this one go around, yeah. And like her face, she's like so happy to be just throwing
Throwing
this
a
little
baby
kid
in
into
the
a fire. This was so fucking funny. But to sum up like a huge chunk of the movie, because again, we're getting Cliff Notes version. There's so much filler and a lot of conversations going on. But basically it's them rounding up all of these vamps from all over the world.
And this is why I say 80% of this film is a
meet and greet. Because it really is like, oh, this is the vampire from
Africa. This is the Italian one. This is the Arabian one.
Yeah, no, literally. Like we get
These are the Chinese ones. It's like,
yeah, okay, like
this is their power.
it's a small world.
They basically have to
after
like
all.
convince all these people that Renesmee is good and that she's just a hybrid of a human and a vampire, so that the Volturi won't get mad at them.
Yep, that's it.
I will say that this is the part where they introduce Lee Pace as a vampire, and I think
I love Lee Pace.
Lee Pace is hot as a vampire.
He's
and
just hot.
he was the vampire I wanted.
Oh, me too, Vivian. He is in CV. He was in Bodies. He is G.I. Joe.
Yes.
Alice's boyfriend in that movie. Oh my god, he's one of the sexiest men alive.
And I like his character in this.
Also,
Yeah, he was like, I'm a hipster.
He was fun.
all these vampires are just... I don't give a fucking shit.
I don't give a fuck either. No.
I don't
We've
care.
got Rami Malek,
The
who is
Avatar?
the Avatar.
Yes.
Who can control the 4 elements.
And they're like, there's no way we can fight the Volturi. And I'm like, they burn, right? All vampires burn.
Right.
And you're in charge of
You
the
are
elements?
and then he doesn't use it later. That's what was funny is like he doesn't do anything.
Except to
with
do
his
something super ineffectual.
That actually hinders a lot
hinders
of
It was
that.
a bad thing.
We'll get there, but yeah, that was funny. They all realize that Bella actually has the superpower to deflect other superpowers. So she's like, they call her a shield, which makes sense why Edward could never read her thoughts.
And why Jane's power didn't work on her.
And everything. Yeah. Alice is still able to see her future though. So that I was like, okay, plot convenience.
That one got glossed over a little bit.
The Zappy girl, her power is that she zaps. She teaches Bella how to create a force field like the fucking Invisible Woman. And yeah.
Yeah.
Clap if you care. Nobody cared. So then we get like probably the next like 40 minutes of the movie I'm gonna completely skip over because it's literally just conversations about the battle, leading up to the battle.
Yeah.
How are we gonna fight? What's our battle strategy? Bella is
Meet our friends from Africa.
Bella has to go undercover to get passports
For
at some
Jacob
point.
and Renesmee because they're gonna escape together.
They didn't have a passport, guys.
And it didn't ever like amount to anything. So I said, you know what? Let me finish this shelving unit. And when the battle comes, I'll start taking notes again. Because we got to get through 2 movies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to skip to the battle. Y'all ready for the battle?
It really is just like
There was nothing that happened.
happens.
Yeah.
Nothing. Again, why was this? Because this
Yeah.
whole meeting, everyone could have been a quick montage of like, oh, we gathered after...
Montage. Thank you.
Oh, we
love
met
a
all
montage.
these amazing vampires from around the world who had all these amazing powers, and a lot of them listened to us, and it was amazing. So we knew we had the numbers on our side, something like that. Because you could have cut out parts from the first one. This could have been a 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah. I was thinking that exact same thing.
Like, nothing happens in this movie, actually.
That is worth it being 2 hours long.
Except, like, the clip backs to the other, like, the little flashes of the
Clip
other
shows.
movies. Yeah, the clip shows.
The fucking clip
the clip
shows. Yeah.
from the 3 previous movies.
That took up like 2/3 of the runtime.
Truly.
So, the Volturi show up in their spooky cloaks. It's like a snowy battlefield.
Yeah.
They like line the armies up facing each other. Like,
Do you think
ready
they
to fight.
came from the airport like that?
Right.
They were like, we have to keep secret. They all get off their...
Traveling with their cloaks on. TSA's like,
Oh,
yeah,
we're sorry, sir.
No.
Sir,
You guys
sorry, you're gonna have to actually check this bag. It's too big. The like main guy, he's like, you fucking game.
Right. Except it's TSA, so they'd be like, take off your cloak. Put the shoes in the bin.
No, shoes in the bin, red-eyed.
Yeah, right. Okay, crazy eyes, put your shit in the bag. No, literally. They're so rude. So, they present Arrow with the evidence that Ratatouille is not an immortal child. So he meets her and he does this funny little laugh. He's like, ah, when he like hears her heart. He's like, such a strange little heart. I love this actor,
he's
Michael
great.
Sheen.
He's
Great character actor. He plays a great villain. Rumpelstiltskin shows Arrow her thoughts, and Irina realizes she fucked up. So they execute her in front of everyone. This was funny.
Yeah.
I like how they kill vampires. They, like, just, like, rip them apart.
Rip
like,
So her like family freaks out.
Also, the torches come out of nowhere. Do you ever notice that?
Yeah.
It's like they pull torches
they
out of their
were
ass.
fully not carrying a torch. Like,
Like,
at any point.
boop. Like a video game character.
Yeah.
I've got my fully lit torch.
Oh, let me go through my inventory real quick.
Zoop. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they execute her right in front of everyone's salad. And so the Volturi are like, okay, yeah, that's all nice and everything, but we're still gonna kill you. Like, we came here to fight. Like, we want to fight.
Yeah, we're kind of like, we're not gonna just show up. We're not gonna punk out at this point.
Right, exactly.
We're committing to the bet.
Like, take off your earrings and fight. Like, come on, let's fight. So
Alice shows up.
Alice appears, she's with Jasper, and she goes to show him her thoughts. But then she goes, it doesn't matter what I show you. Even when you see, you still want to fight us. So then she turns around and she gives Bella, like, the signal to lead the charge. And we get the battle, which starts with Carlisle getting his head chopped off. What the fuck? This was
And
crazy.
I do know for a fact that the reaction in the theaters during this.
Yes.
People freaked out.
I actually didn't see this one in theaters, which I'm so sad about, because at that point I was Twilighted out. I was like, I don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
These movies are sucking. Like, I'll catch it on DVD. But I did watch it on DVD with my sister Brooke, and I remember that I had heard about this whole gag, so it didn't necessarily surprise me. However, I have seen the YouTube video reactions of people in the theater, like, when this whole shit went down. Because this is not in the book.
No, not at all.
This is when they, like, deviate and they, like, start killing off all of the beloved characters. I think it's so funny, but also kind of cool and, like, a fun turn that they took. Now, if they had committed to it, I would have liked it a lot more. But we'll get there in a second, right?
Yeah.
So,
See, I thought the fight does happen.
no.
It's just very tense. It's just kind of like how they walk away.
It's
Like,
everything but without this, like, battle.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's basically they're like, okay, well, she's fine, so we're gonna leave, but we're gonna watch you.
yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just kind
So
of
we get
menacing
this
government.
whole, like, showdown. Carlisle gets decapitated. That poor actress, Esme, she looks so rough when she's, like, crying and being like, no.
Yes. Oh, they went into her. I was like, ooh.
Ooh. Like, don't zoom in on Esme.
Ooh, don't make that face.
Ooh, don't make that face. Ooh. Jasper dies.
Jasper dies.
Well-
Alice freaks out.
He's a Confederate.
Yeah, I'm not upset.
I was like,
so.
okay, bye, Jasper.
Then Emmett kills Jane's brother, who he had, like, vapor powers or whatever the fuck.
You have beef with him.
So Jane's, like, spooked. Then one of the wolves die. I thought maybe Seth. Is it the young wolf Seth?
I think it is, yeah.
Trying to save Esme.
Sure, yeah.
I think Jane kills him.
Yeah, I can't remember. Someone kills him, yeah. Then Rami Malek's character, the Avatar, he like causes an earthquake that splits the earth open.
To the Earth's core.
To the core.
Because there's lava.
I was like, why is there lava?
I was like, is that the core of the earth?
No, literally, like, and like one of the wolves like falls into the magma and
Yes.
dies. Like,
Yeah.
Several
damn.
people fall into the magma
Yeah.
and die.
And like wasn't even that deep too. It's like, wait, I don't think that's how this works. Like
No,
there wouldn't
it's
just
like-
be lava right there.
Bitch, I was like, because when it was first happening, I was like, oh, those vampires are fine. Like, they can survive that fall. And then it shows that it's lava. I'm like,
Lava.
bitch, what?
Never
No,
mind.
is this on like a
Certain death.
Is this on an inactive volcano somewhere? Like what is going on? That was really funny. Miss Jane has been like bothered the whole time
She can't use her power because of Bella.
Bella's like blocking her powers. So when Alice comes to attack her, she just runs scared.
She does.
That was funny as fuck because Dakota Fanning's been this like evil cunt this whole like series, all intimidating, torturing people. So now she's like pussying out when she can't like use her powers. And the wolf eats her face. That was so iconic.
I did like this scene, like when Alice like drags her and throws her in front of Sam, and like he just like eats her head. I mean, it was bad CGI, but I did like her getting her head.
Yeah, yeah. Thank God, because she is so bug-eyed, and her contacts were just too diabolical. This whole franchise. Now at this point in the battle, only the main Volturi, like 3
Yeah,
leaders,
after Jane's gone, they're like, shit.
yeah, they're the only ones left. And one of them is about to get eaten by a wolf, and this is so funny. He goes, "Oh, finally!"
He just lets it happen.
That was funny as
He was
fuck. Yeah. And then Bella and Edward like tag team Arrow, and they kill his ass.
Yeah.
Bella pulls the torch out of her ass, and she's like starts to.
She does. She does get that.
It's literally like. But then, it was all a vision. It was all a dream. Yeah, Alice has like just shown Arrow what will happen if he decides to fight them, basically. This was such a gag, like in the theater, like watching the people on YouTube be like, oh, like the collective, like, what the fuck? When it was like not actually what it was. That shit is so funny. It kind of would have been cunty if they had just committed to all the death, though.
Yeah.
Because it was exciting.
Better story.
Yeah, and a better story, right? Because it was exciting. And then, like, it just all gets, like, canceled out by it being, like, a
Nothing
vision.
mattered.
Yeah.
So basically, this whole movie didn't matter.
Exactly, yeah. The whole climax was not real. And so you feel kind of cheated watching it as an audience member. But hey, you know what? They made a bold decision for once in their miserable lives. And did it pay off?
No.
No. But was it really funny? Yes.
These last two are comedies.
Oh, yeah.
They truly are.
Alice has brought another person like Rikki Tikki Tavi. You know, their daughter, Rikki Tikki Tavi. And he is here to convince them that everything's chill.
Because he is also a half
Like vamp,
vampire
half human.
human. I almost said half breed.
Half breed.
That's all I
Ever heard. Yep.
I think he's from the Takuna tribe, which they mentioned several times, but I'm not sure. I think they just started saying it. I don't think we have any context
There
for
it is.
the...
She was like, she was putting words together.
Yeah.
The Takuna tribe, right? Like,
She
no?
she searched tribes on Google, and that was the first thing that came up.
Yeah, Takuna tribe. That sounds convincing.
So, and he's like, but I'm chill. See, look, I'm chill. So, like, Renesmee's chill.
Yeah.
So, don't worry
It's like,
about
I've been around for 150 years.
Yeah.
So.
It's all good. And I can survive on blood diet or human food. Like, it's chill. It's chill. And so, Arrow's kind of like, all right, let's peace out then. And the one guy's like, no, we should still fight. And he's like, girl, trust me, let's go. And that was really funny.
Yeah.
I'm being like, no, let's go. So they all leave, and everything's
The same.
this.
Nothing.
Once
Nothing
again,
happened.
The status quo has not changed. Yeah. Bella's theme plays as they all celebrate. We see them all bid farewell to all the vampire friends, and they prepare to live their lives. We get one final scene of Bella and Edward in their meadow, being corny as always. And Bella shows him that she's practiced her powers and she can now allow him to read her thoughts. So we get another clip show. Hey, clip show. Yeah. But it plays all along. I believe the chokehold that this song had on weddings for years and years to come. When you were getting married, remember I was like, do not. As long as I don't care what music you play, do not play 1,000 Years by Christina Perri.
It is quite overplayed, and it does make me think of Twilight. But I do still really like it.
I mean, it is.
I sing it a lot at home by myself.
I don't. After like this movie was over, like the whole rest of the night, it was stuck in my head. I was like brushing my teeth this morning. I was like, all along, I believe I was. Yeah, Edward and Bella kiss in their meadow, and they prepare to spend forever together.
Wow. They got divorced 3 months later. 3
That is
months
the
after
thing.
filming, they divorced.
I was thinking they're going to be teen parents for literally forever. Like, part of the reason Edward has such a hard time is because he's, like, mentally 17 years old.
I feel like they got to a point where they're like, Renesmee, you're leaving. Go be with Jacob. Like, we'll hang out with you.
Kick her out, yeah.
There is a part...
Girl, it's been 150 years. You gotta go. You gotta go.
Honey, you need to be on your own phone plan at this point. It's been 150 years.
But Mom!
There's a part where Jacob is like, should I call you Dad, to Edward? Which, like, creeped me out because it's like the imprinting thing again. Like, I thought you weren't like that yet. I thought you weren't like that, but I guess it is like that. And it's like, you're such a creep.
Wait until she's a fucking, like, adult. You gotta wait till she's, like, 18 in human years.
Human years, bitch.
Truly.
But it was nice to see Edward and Jacob work it out on the remix, I will say.
Let's work it out on the remix.
Yeah. Okay, that was the Twilight franchise.
Wow.
It was a journey.
Thank God. That's
Thank God.
Thank God. I literally was so excited to do this, and I was so excited when we did that first movie.
Then it just goes downhill.
And then every subsequent week, I've been like,
why did we do this?
I guess we're committed to it. But we stuck. I'm proud of us.
We did it.
To get through both Breaking Dawns, I think, is the bravest thing a human being can do.
Viv and I watched them back to back.
Yeah.
I took a little break. I had to take a break.
I watched them both this morning, and it was something.
The bravery on display.
They're diabolical.
Okay, so next week on the pod, I want to take a break.
Yes.
Because it's my birthday, and
we just did Stephenie Meyer March.
Stephenie Meyer March kind of fried all the remaining brain cells I had, so. But we're going to be back with horror movies in April and May. I want like that to be, going back to our roots. Doing
we've taken a break for a while.
We've been doing non-horror, which has been fun.
Yes.
To have a change. But there's a lot of horror movies that we haven't talked about that we gotta talk about.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Vivian, thank you so much for coming on the pod. Finally, it has been a long time coming.
Yes.
We literally talk about you. I think I reference you on every episode. I'm like, Viv, da 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 da, Viv, da 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 da.
That makes me feel nice. Thank you. This was fun. Maybe next time if I join you again, can we watch a good movie?
Yes. Yeah, sorry, Viv. Sorry that this is your first time with us.
No, I deserve it. I waited too long. This was my punishment. I'll come on again sooner next time.
Yes, we will have you on very soon. And I think that's all I have for
that's all I
this
have.
week of Let's Scream.
Yeah, go watch these movies if you want.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us this week of Let's Scream. We hope you had fun with us, rounding out Stephenie Meyer March in Forks, Washington, of course. And thank you again to Vivian for joining us. Love you, Viv. Please remember to follow the pod, like the pod, and leave a glowing review of the pod, of course. It's very easy, and it takes literally 2 seconds on Spotify.
Yes.
It really helps us out. And we are at Let's Scream Pod on all the socials. You can also send us movie requests for future episodes, especially since we don't have a lot planned. From this point on, we would love to hear your suggestions.
Absolutely.
You can follow me at Parker_Will_C on Instagram.
And you can follow me at StevieNash95 on Instagram.
Viv, if the people want to follow you, where can they do that?
Vivian Grace 27 on Instagram, and I don't have anything else.
That's okay.
Period. Until next time, this has been
Let's Scream.
Bye.